Okay, so guys, is one of the things that we usually do, and it's been a while we released any new content regarding the market, the situations, things that's couple of like going on in the market. And today, I have with me, as per requested earlier, Nene Junction, on behalf of the news.ebitconnects platform. So, Nene, you welcomed. Hello, Nene.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our news, the eBitcoinix News Hub. This is from the Accra office, and we are live on Facebook, on YouTube, and we are also live on Zoom. Yeah, today we have on our show the CEO of eBitcoinix, CEO of NICS, NICS, all the anything that comes with eBitcoinix. We have the CEO live with us today. He is in the person of Mr. or Alaji Nawaf Bitcoin or Nawaf Abdullah. Hello, good afternoon, Mr. Nawaf.
Yes, good afternoon. How are you, Nene?
I'm good, and you?
I'm doing fantastic.
Yeah. Okay, so let's start. We want. Let me ask you, what do you feel about the current happenings in the crypto world?
Well, actually, it's very normal, and I think we never expected to be where we are right now in terms of what is going on in the market. Like, there's been lots and lots of bad situations back in the days, but I think for the market to still prove itself, and we are kind of moving constantly. We are constantly moving forward. I think that makes it relatively interesting, and we obviously are so much proud of the current happenings in the market. Like you yourself, you write articles, you are involved with the market 100%, even before it comes out, and there's no two ways that it's really it's becoming more grand and more interesting. Looking at the fact that there are 1,000 reasons out there why the market shouldn't be where it is like today, or like not be close, not even be close to what it is like right now as we speak. But it has really matured in the eyes of or let me say, a lot of individuals that are involved with every reasons why they are involved with the technology. So I think that is so fantastic, and we are really like happy seeing these things happening. So I think the market is okay. It's not as bad, and even if it is bad, we are still holding on to it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. And I would want to know what is really driving the price of Bitcoin this fast? Do you have any ideas what is really driving the price of Bitcoin this fast?
I think usually, you see, when the price of Bitcoin is supposedly going up, probably there is something that has triggered that. And for the past days, we saw a couple of interesting news, especially from Fidelity, where it has to do with a private funding for, the Bitcoin market in their own market facility. And that is a very, positive factor as to what can propel a market to move, trend positively upwards. And but not to that only, we all have seen how mature the market has been to the fact that even negativity, negative news resides in the market, but still 100% it is moving towards the direction that it's supposed to move, and nothing is affecting it. So it means people are getting to understand the technology, the applied use cases for the technology itself is becoming stable. And the more as it is becoming more stable, people have a reason not to sell off their coins, their digital assets. And that's also, give the market life, regardless of what happens. You can see, like over the week, Binance got hacked and they lost over 7,000 BTC, but this has no effect on the market. Like nothing happened. And usually when an exchange, like a huge exchange like that, gets hacked, obviously it goes a very long way to affect not just one, but it affects a whole lot of things that has to do with the entire ecosystem. But you realize that it is not like it is right now, and it's really interesting. So a whole lot of things are triggering positivity in the market, but we want to be sure that it is that or that. So unless something drops it back furthermore, we cannot say. But the good news factor as in adoption is becoming, it's increasingly becoming more. And aside adoption, we also have maturity as to people are now involved with the technology because they believe in the technology and they have a reason to hold on to their tokens regardless of what happens. And that is really, really amazing and really fantastic. That's one thing I can say. Yeah.
Oh, thank you very much. And I really appreciate your explanation on what the market is looking at. But let's talk about what happened with Binance, whatever you say. What do you think? Do you think it will affect the ecosystem in a way, or it's good for the system?
Well, if it would have affected the ecosystem, I think that affection would have come earlier, correct? And it would come even in a way or in a form that will adversely affect everyone that is kind of involved with the ecosystem entirely. But nothing of such happened. The market responded to it. It's fine. It's one of those things that usually happens normal. But as to causing panic here, people losing out, and I think Binance is a mature exchange to the extent that they have, you know, funds that are designated for such losses and they use it to take care of incidents like this. So that is fine. Maybe nobody is losing, nobody is feeling it. But I think it is no reason enough as to how why the market could have drained itself. And if it was just any other times, I think a whole Binance or a whole exchange platform like Binance getting hacked would have a severe effect on the market. Like the turnout is going to be bad, like news going around, like a lot of people, it's going to cause fear, panic, especially when it's the number one exchange today where the volumes, everything is so natural. Everybody wants to trade on Binance. So it's becoming a part of the system. Binance has become a leading part of the system today globally, just like ebitcoins.com has become a leading part of the African ecosystem where if you talk about blockchain, you would have to talk about ebitcoin, whether you are buying or you are selling or using our wallet services to do anything. So it's like that. It's naturally present in any form. So it has, if the effect wanted to come, I think by now would have been around. But nothing of such did happen. And they've learned from it. Like, and you know, what happened is not a fault of Binance. It's something that is nobody expected it to come from that source because what happened is not like the exchange itself directly maybe backdoor got hacked and like the normal things that happen. But this time around, it was through the users, through the users to the extent that it affected all their 2FA protocols. Is very dangerous. Whatever technology, what form of technology they use, nobody knows. And we have we have a lot to do together in the ecosystem because if platforms like Binance could get affected, and it's through the users, it builds out a whole lot of things that we have a lot to do. So it's generally, and we are all looking up to what is next. We don't expect more bad news to kind of come out, but yeah, we are looking forward to what is next right now.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much. And let's move to the next issue, which is about looking for people are seeking to find who Satoshi Nakamoto is. Do you ever think he will be found?
He has already been found. That's why his technology lives today. But he has to finding, getting to know who he really, whether like, I don't know whether Satoshi is a man, a woman, a group, or whatever he is. So whomever is trying to prove to the world that, hey, I can fetch you Satoshi, good luck to the person. But as to whether it's possible, before you think, Satoshi has already thought and he knew something like this can happen. So he has already made room for, issues like this to be solved, and it's so easy. So I don't really think it's difficult for someone to get to know who Satoshi is because we all know, at least he gave us the identity that is enough for us to get to know him. But as to whomever you are trying to come out with any other form of Satoshi, is going to be maybe another Satoshi, or you are creating your own Satoshi for the world. But it's not an easy thing. It's not going to be easy, and he's seriously not going to allow that. So he's already made room for all of this. Whether he's alive, whether the group entirely is alive today, what we don't know. So for me, good luck. But I'll be more excited to see who Satoshi is and what sort of effect that will also have on the entire blockchain market or the ecosystem. But as to possibility.
Okay, so let's say if he has been found out, and let's say just like what is happening with Julian Assange. Let's use that scenario. Let's say he has been found out and then he has been captured by any of the governments seeking to break up the Bitcoin or the blockchain network. What do you think? Do you think his capture will affect the blockchain network?
Well, it's capturing him is relevant and at the same time too irrelevant, because Satoshi, whomever he is or whomever they are, cannot undo what they've done. And a technology that is already more than a decade old, I think, is reasonable enough for us to know that now Bitcoin is on its own, or the blockchain technology is on its own, and lots of disruptions have actually happened and emerged on top of the technology he gave to the world. And a lot of people are doing a whole lot of interesting things with the technology, which has to do with even the government, the private sectors, and like a whole lot of things been going on. So finding who Satoshi is actually irrelevant. And Satoshi himself cannot shut down Bitcoin or shut down the blockchain technology, you know. And even if it happens, someone look at the Tron technology, look at the US technology, look at the Ethereum. These are all equal technologies which have their founders alive. The founders are around. So why is it that nobody bothers about them? Like nobody is worried about the existence of maybe Vitalik or maybe, you know, Justin, and, you know, even with Binance, look at see that now they are not coming out with their own the DEX platform, their own blockchain. So it is irrelevant. Who cares? Okay, this is Satoshi. That's nice. Oh, Satoshi, how are you? That's fine. Okay, so thank you for bringing Bitcoin. That's what's going to happen. And if just as you related to the CEO of WikiLeaks, I think Satoshi has done nothing wrong to the world. He only came out with a solution that the world has been trying to achieve for so many years. Look at PayPal, look at Western Union, look at payment system that evolved. That they are all trying to solve this old kind of decentralized issues that has to do with payments, and he was the only one that was able to achieve this. So I think the world is going to be excited. It's going to be, I don't know, for us, he's a hero, and we are all learning from his technology. But as to Satoshi's appearance going to affect the market, probably maybe a lot of people are now going to have more trust in the technology, knowing that, whoa, he's not some anonymous, you know, stuff that is tagged with the technology. So you feel like, well, this technology is anonymously running, or the technology is, you know, like that thing is going to die out. And now we all know that Bitcoin has a founder, and the founder of Bitcoin is, you know, is dead, and then boom, boom, it's going to be like that. But as a negative, it's not easy. It's not going to be like, it's uneasy to find sport Satoshi kind of individual. All of us, we know it's not. It's not like someone who you can gently just take blah, blah, you know, yeah, you spot the world just get to believe it. And even if it's true that whomever you are going to release as Satoshi is true, they will still have to go through, do verifications. You know, he gave birth to a transparent world where everything, you just don't trust things that come around. You want to verify things. So it's also going to affect the identity of Satoshi. Whomever they are going to release as Satoshi, we would all want to verify. We are not just going to trust that, well, this group of individuals held, this is Satoshi, so, well, this is Satoshi Nakamoto. No, that is not what's going to happen. We are all going to kind of verify. Yes, we are going to verify. Hey, is this really Satoshi? Okay, so how, when, you know, something like that. Yes.
Okay, viewers on my Facebook feed or on my YouTube feed, I'm sorry, my network just went off, and I'm working on getting you guys back online. But let's continue on our feed. Now let's look at projects that are happening. projects that are coming up. Let's talk about Ethereum, their Constantinople coin project. What do you think of that? We can talk of EOS as well.
Well, I think all of these technologies that are emerging, okay, they are like phased out where they have stage one of their implementation, they have stage two of their implementations, like that on and on. And as the world is moving, the technology will continue to rise. They will support certain things and changes would have to be rolled out and you have to like adjust to the changes that is emerging. If you remain who you are, I think you are just going to burn out. Like you're going to be out of the system entirely. And if you look at Bitcoin, why Bitcoin is so much kind of unique in the eyes of a lot of people is because it's the first technology that actually came out, and we've all been involved with Bitcoin, and it has become something like we are all holding on to Bitcoin because of what Bitcoin really is. But other than that, if it's about payment, if it's about a whole lot of things that has to do with the peer-to-peer payment system, I think there are much more interesting technologies out there that beats Bitcoin to that. In fact, if it is about fast transaction, low fees, you know, security, whatever, you can talk about a whole lot. It beats Bitcoin out of that. But Bitcoin is enjoying its unique nature of, well, this is the first kind of technology that ever emerged, and so therefore it is so needs to be there. But if you compare Ethereum against maybe EOS or Tron, you know, like currently what you're talking about, moving into POS on the Ethereum network, whatever, it is something they've just like realized, they've perceived that if they do not adjust in their chains or in their networks of whatever they are doing, there are or equally other technologies that would take them out and they are going to be out of the system. So that is one of the reasons why you realize all these technologies are just making shift or changes, and they need to adjust to the living, like they need to adjust to what is going on. And it's very, very, very important we all pay attention to things like this. So it's not just about what is happening or what has happened or what is likely supposed to happen. And no, it's not just about that. But right now, it has a whole lot of effect. The world solutions, things that can give the ecosystem best of is what it needs or what it needs out of the ecosystem entirely. I think that is what we are looking up to or we are looking forward to. So I think it's really worth whatever chain or whatever ecosystem is doing. But we are looking out to more because tomorrow there are still going to be technologies that are going to say they are better than Bitcoin, they are better than Ethereum, they are better than EOS, Tron, you know, the name, blockchain, whatever. You can call more and more and more and more. And as I said, if it's about payment, if it's about speed, if it's about accessibility, you can confirm that there are lots and lots of technologies out there that are doing 100% better than Bitcoin. Of course, yes, but Bitcoin is just true in the eyes of a whole lot of people. Not it does not make them maximalist, but it's kind of respect we are honoring to Bitcoin, and it being the first where almost every trade is paired to the major or the main currency where decentralization 100% happens, and that is Bitcoin. That's why we realize it's there, but it does not uniquely make it like the only best thing, you know. But there are technologies out there that are equally doing good, so we have to respect that. Yes, we have to respect that.
Okay, so talking about that, let's look at Bitcoin reorg. Bitcoin reorg. What do you think would have happened if CZ initiated that?
Can, okay, I think I lost out to your question. A minute, please.
I was asking about the Bitcoin reorg.
Okay, can you repeat your question?
I was asking about Bitcoin reorg.
Okay.
That Satoshi want to introduce into the system. What do you think would have if they have all agreed on that.
It's
If
not
it has been agreed on.
a point of correction. It wasn't Satoshi. It was Binance, CZ of Binance, who was
Since that I mentioned CZ.
yes, who was mentioned about a rollover on the network. It's not an easy to do stuff. Like nobody, like look at the world now. Miners, the mining operation is decentralized. A lot of people out there are all, having something, some kind of connection, some sort of looping on top of the Bitcoin ecosystem and things like that. So, like, it's not going to be an easy to do thing. And he himself he is aware that he can't implement such things so easily like that. So it has something to do with like almost all the zillions of individuals out there that are more or less that have businesses on top of the Bitcoin network are all going to agree to the same thing, which is in rare cases really going to do happen on a decentralized network like that of Bitcoin. And as he mentioned, yes, that thing can happen, and it can even prevent more of future hacks on the Bitcoin network, where hackers would now have to like have time to study everything again with regarding the effects of the rollover that did happen in the market, whatever that happened to the chains of the various coins involved, and it's really going to give them lots and lots of work, which is very tedious for them to get to do all of this over and over again. But it is not an easy to implement technology, considering to like a technology that has been existing for the past 10 years, and you just want to do a rollover, bring it back to where it all began. It's not going to be easy. The investment alone required for you to do that, and also convincing almost all miners on top of the Bitcoin chain to accept to the same consensus is dangerously not possible. And I think when he made that comment, you saw on his Twitter handle how most of the individuals out there were just bashing out, like the guys like Andrios, Antonopoulos, the Ivanov, like a lot of guys are he's supposed to actually pay attention to what has happened to his company, how he can recoup, of which we all know that the loss that happened to Binance, they've already ended back. They actually did not lose that much. There was a trade effect that happened on Bitfinex. There was a short that happened, and they end over more than what they've lost, even before communicating the loss update. So it's very, very normal. It's not going to be so easy. It's possible, yes, but 100% going to be easy. No, on a decentralized network, I think they've got a lot more to do. The technology is growing. Like every day, developers are tapping in, trying to do something on their own, get to release stuff that is like going to help. And all of these things are good enough for the ecosystem. So you cannot just implement anything that you think because of what you want and it's just like 100% okay and everybody agrees to it. No, it's not going to be easy. No.
Okay. Thank you very much for your explanation. And I would want to know, let's talk briefly about Brad Sherman.
Okay.
The joke he shared. Do you think America can do that?
Well, they've got what it takes to do what they want to do. We all know that America is a very powerful nation, but what they are going to do at the end of the day would put the country itself into, let me say, a stable situation, because it's like the country is going to end up facing its Congress about this issue over and over again, and you've got people seeing them like doing a whole lot of ups and downs. But in reality, it is not possible. It's not going to be easy. And there are states in the US alone you can pay your taxes in Bitcoin, and they are using the blockchain technology. Like when we talk about mining operations, mining happens in the US. People are making legal income on top of the Bitcoin network as their main source of businesses and income. We have lots of billionaires in the US alone that are making good use of the blockchain technology. Even if you look at Facebook right now, Facebook is trying to release its own cryptocurrency. They are doing funding. It's in the funding stage right now where they need over $1 billion to invest in their Facebook coin project. And Facebook as a company owns WhatsApp, they do own Instagram, and all of these technologies are going to be they're just going to relate whatever solution they do, they're going to be tapping in. And not just that, if you look at the likes of Microsoft, okay, the Bill Gates, they have a huge investment in the blockchain technology. They invested in VCs where startups have enjoyed lots of funding, and that is being used to drive the blockchain phase in America alone. So I think it has a lot to do with what sort of implementation and what is going to be the outcome, what is going to be the outcome of what they want to do. So at the end of the day, when you are making a decision, especially look at Africa, like Africa, we are where we are because not just because maybe our leaders have not understood the blockchain technology or whatever, but because of some of the wrong decisions the early adopters of the technology has actually made, and the fact that they've been the mind has already programmed as if everything about the blockchain technology is about investment. So what about like what is about the technology itself? People are not actually paying attention to, and that's where the future is. When you look at how it can disrupt payment systems, make things easy for the governments, talking about how we can save huge sums of money when it is time for voting in Africa. When you look at the banking, how we do banking in Africa, and then the accessibility, even the internet itself. A lot of people don't have access to the internet facility itself in Africa. So like it's a process and it's a whole other thing, and it does not push them or like put them out of the technology. They need time, of course, yes. And that time is obviously going to come, but it should come with understanding. That's how come you realize every government, every system is trying to appoint individuals to go do whatever studies they can to understand the technology itself before they make any decision. Because you don't just go bump into something you don't understand. And when you do that, you end up making wrong decisions. So they have every right to do what it is, what they think is right as a governance, what they think is right for its own people. So it's the same in the US, and it's the same in Germany, it's the same in India. Look at India today. Like in January, I was there, and you realize that a whole lot of things are going on that has to do with the government to not say, okay, you are away, but they are just working on regulating every aspect of the technology. And if they don't understand it, they would not, haste into making any conclusion. And everything about government, governization, whatever they can call it, takes time. And that time is all about patience. So if Congress is saying at the end of the day, it's not going to affect you here in Ghana. Why? Because they have to everybody deal with his own mess. So those in the US will have to deal with this as they are supposed to do, while we are also here fighting for adoption, letting the African get to understand that the blockchain technology is not about maybe just bring money, go invest in some Ponzi scheme, we lose funds. No, 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 no. That is 0.0001% of what the technology really is about. And I know that 100%, especially our politicians in this country, they know the potential. In fact, implementation of the blockchain technology is going to put a whole lot of people out of services. Look at the land commission, like the traffic license system, voting, our ports, like a lot of things that is going to save the government money. And you cannot talk about this because so you have to focus on where your energy is. And that's how come you realize we are rather building solutions. So as at when they are not, paying attention to what they need to do, we would continue to build solutions. We will build applications. We will build services. We will build systems. We will build things that every day the African man is going to need, and they would not have to depend on the white man for all all those kind of solutions. So at the end of the day, when the growth is coming, it starts with us. So that's the direction. You have to I don't know. You have to deal with your own mess before you discuss the mess of others. Already, we have a whole lot of things to deal with in Africa. So the US is fine anyway.
US, you are watching eBitcoinix live. This is GH Crypto News, and I'm with the CEO of eBitcoinix. He is in the person of Mr. Nawaf Bitcoin, or Nawaf Abdallah. Yeah, we will have to go onto eBitcoinix and also Bitcoin and blockchain in Ghana. We'll be, let's take Bitcoin and blockchain in Ghana, and then we finish with eBitcoinix, what eBitcoinix is up to. Okay, so let's talk about Bitcoin in Ghana. What do you think we are doing as an ecosystem in Ghana?
Well, I think we've done a lot, and we will continue to do a lot more, because the lot that we have done is not enough for Ghana. So we will continue to push and do much more. I think for the past 3 years, 2 years, lots of things had happened in the name of Bitcoin, where it has planted this misconception, great misconception in the minds of the Ghanaian, that maybe you go invest in any Ponzi scheme, and they say, okay, pay for your investment in Bitcoin, or let's say with mobile money, and then tomorrow the company scams you or disappear with your money, and or maybe they are not able to deliver the promise of returns they should have given you, and you tend to blame maybe mobile money for that. Then it means you yourself don't understand finances. And before you invest into anything, you have to make sure you have education about it before you do, because it's so hard to make money. So traditionally, it should be extremely hard for you to lose money. And the issue bears out to the fact that in our high schools, colleges that we have, in the university, whatever we have, we don't get the education. You know, financial education is not there. So that is one thing. So the Ghana man, or some of the Ghana men, think that everything that is about Bitcoin is all about, maybe let me go make some quick money. It's not. It's not about that. It's not. The technology is not about just bring money, but go, invest in some Ponzi, then you make returns. No, 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 no. It's all about thinking about tomorrow. It's all about thinking about solutions. It's about payments. It's about solutions. It's about things that can cause disruption. This morning I shared something on my wall which has to do with some of the technologies that has happened, and it is equally disrupting a lot of services, or has already disrupted those services. And that has to do with the likes of BlackBerry Messenger. Like, look at 3 years back, when you are using a smartphone and you don't have BBM or BlackBerry Messenger installed on your smartphone, like, you are considered not. Yes, you know all of these things. But where is BBM? When the change was coming, the wave of change was coming, they relaxed, and they thought probably
they relaxed.
Yes,
they indeed relaxed.
Exactly. Now look at YouTube. Look at what YouTube has done to our cassette system that we use, the DVD, infrared, Bluetooth sharing. Look at all of these things. Look at now applications like Xender, where you don't you have no need or less need for Bluetooth. Now, if someone is having Bluetooth on his smartphone, maybe it's just for his car or his smartwatch or something that he can just do a connection and all that. Look at letter writing and SMS technology, and look at SML. After SML, after SMS, we had a distraction on faxing, where email is doing what fax is supposed to do. Right? We have like a whole lot of technologies. Now Google, on top of the internet, you don't need a library anymore. Any information you want, you don't need to yes, you just can do all of these things. And like, all of these are disruptions. Dictionary, how many people work with dictionary right now? But years back, when we say you are the best students of your campus and you don't have a dictionary, then it means you are not the best student. So all of these things are disruption. And everything about Bitcoin is all about banking, but it's about independency when it comes to banking, where you have access to the funds, you control your funds, you are the owner of the funds. You don't need someone's permission, or you don't need authority before you can spend or use your own funds. Imagine, you can save your funds at the bank. Now you want to withdraw your money, and then they say you have a limit on your account. But when you are opening the account, or when you are setting up the account, or you're working to deposit funds into your account, you have no limit when you are depositing money in your own account. But when you are withdrawing, you have limits. they make money on us for doing nothing in the form of fees, whatever they can call it, COT. All of these are structures. They are just using it to milk us. And the
Okay.
presence of the blockchain technology is not going to mean the banks are going to be out of the system. We are constantly going to need the banking, but it is going to be banking with freedom, where you, the user, have control over the bank and you give them access to what they are only supposed to have. You give them control over what they are supposed to have, access to what they are supposed to have. So that is all about the blockchain technology. And look at you as a businessman trying to send value from country to country using your bank alone. Sometimes the fee can make you fall sick when you are into huge businesses. Let's say you are into freight forwarding, where you pay for items abroad, like, it's not easy. And even if you can afford the fees, even if you can afford the fee, the timing, they would have to now do the transfer based on the fintech protocols and the timing, the number of days that is going to actually activate your transfer. And if you want it extremely fast, you would have to now pay more. But look at the technology, just like you sending someone an email, you can send money or value person to person, and it's like click, click, boom, is done. This
There
is
was there was this there was this incident I witnessed where someone wanted to send an amount of $100 to India, and this person said he went to the bank and they were charging him $75 for just sending $100.
70.
What do you have to say about that?
$100, and now you are being charged $75 before you can send that $100. What does it mean? When that $75, when you add it to the money, whomever you are sending to can even enjoy more. Or if you are going to subtract it from the value you are sending, it means the person is only going to receive $25. And what work did they do? Just click that like but that is their business. But then
Okay.
let's say when the person sends this $100 with Bitcoin, what was the fee the person paid?
A person paid as low as 30 cents, something
Imagine
like around that.
30 cents against 75.
$75.
Why would businesses not want to have a look at the blockchain technology? And this is
But they are told they've been told blockchain technology is rather the bad thing.
no. It's
They've
not
been
like
told.
they've been told. It's good. When you are being told, you have to now try to confirm what you've been told. So it takes time. Just as I was saying, we are doing okay. We are trying all that we can for people to get to understand the technology, but it's going to take time, because now, if this is what the technology is really about and people have been miscommunicated, they've received information that is not in existence, what do you think is going to do? It makes our work so hard. So regardless of how hard you work, you would now have to be putting in more work, more work, more work, more work, more work, and more work. You understand? So
Yeah.
it needs time. It's all about patience. With time, people will get to understand that no, we have been given the wrong information about the blockchain technology. Because let's say if you invest in any company and they say where you can make your investment with Bitcoin, and maybe every month they pay you 10%, 7%, 20%, 100%, and you buy into these scams, you put in your hard-earned money without doing your due diligence, you lose your money, and now you blame the technology which is only a payment gateway. You blame it for you losing your money. I think we have a lot to do to ourselves as humans. So let's say minus Bitcoin, and then you did that same investment with maybe mobile money, MTN mobile money, Airtel money, Tigo Cash or Vodafone Cash, and the company scams you, you lose your money, or you even paid with your credit card. Are you going to blame the credit card company for the loss that occurred? Are you going to say the credit card company is a scam, or the credit card company scammed you out of your hard-earned money? No. So you don't just buy into any investment because the person is saying, okay, Bitcoin is a technology that can grow it goes up in value, blah, blah, blah. trading, even when we talk about trading, how the definition of trading is different. When you give your money to someone in the name of investment, blah, 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 you are not trading. Trading itself is like you trading the stocks, trading the stock market, trading the forex market, and it does a lot. Trading itself is a profession. So if you don't understand and you just want to do things like the easy way out, because you heard that in 2010, the price of Bitcoin was selling for maybe $1. And in 2018, the price of Bitcoin was selling for $20,000. In 2019, it is selling for $5,000. So you have some $1 million. You think when you buy more of Bitcoins, tomorrow you are going to become a millionaire. That is a lie. It's not, it does not happen like that. In fact, even before you gain from any technology, you have to lose. You have to lose, you have to learn, you have to invest in educating yourself. So it's a lot more, and not just about what we are doing. So I think we've still got a lot to do, and we constantly pray that we have health, we have life, and we can continue to preach on what we are doing. But then before that, we will continue to build solutions. Yes, because it is the solutions that is going to, bring us all to a stable or let me say a uniform mindset where we get to use the technology for its right use cases, and it's going to take time.
Okay, so recently the Parliament of Ghana had a discussion on cryptocurrencies. What is your take on that, and what do you think they are supposed to do to regulate the currency? Do you ever think they should regulate it in Ghana?
It's 3 o'clock.
Regulation, see, when we say regulation, it's about finding ways to make your things right, things rightly work. How it's supposed to work, it works like that. And at the end of the day, it must also put money in the pockets of the government. That's about regulation. So people are not going to lose, and government also gain. So, and any new technology, like right now, the internet is not regulated in the country. Social media is not regulated in the country. E-commerce is not regulated in the country. And we have billion-dollar businesses that are growing in the country on top of all of these technologies, as well as the blockchain technology. So it's something that as a nation, we still have a lot to do. And then I think the parliament's talking about, for me, the parliament talking about the blockchain technology, maybe about cryptocurrencies, whichever understanding they have about the technology, whether it is good or bad, it is okay for me. As long as we are aware that they know about the technology itself, it's okay. And no matter how you are misinformed about something, you would eventually get to know about it correctly as long as you continue to pursue it. So once they are all aware, they know businesses are running in the country. People are doing buying, people are doing selling, and they say you are doing so at your own risk. I think that is okay until they deploy a reasonable and let me say they come to a consensus together. And before they can do that, they need stakeholders involved in the various industries where you sit down with them, you tell them what you know, they also listen, they tell you what they know, then you bargain, like you exchange the information, then they can, with their their knowledge of regulation, they draw a better plan to suit whomever is maybe businesses that are running on top of each ecosystem. And they are not just going to do so for the blockchain technology, they would have to do for any other disruption that is existing. Because even now, people are making good income as bloggers on YouTube in the country, where TV stations are not even earning close to that. So what will you tell me? Would you tell me they are beating the system or they are working so hard? So it's all about positioning yourself before anybody else does that. And if the longer time it takes for them to do that, well, I don't know, but it's also okay. And the longer you can also take to develop more or release more solutions that is going to par with whatever solution they're going to have. So it's okay. We still have a long way to go. And we are praying that the longer way becomes shorter so that tomorrow we all wake up and we know, well, this is really happening just how it is supposed to happen. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. And I would want to finally, let's talk about eBitcoinix. What is eBitcoinix doing now to boost the ecosystem in Ghana and in Africa?
Well, I think in Ghana, not just in Ghana, we are doing a lot. And because the government is not paying attention, we are actually looking at what the best companies out there, like in the US, in Canada, in China, in Japan, what they are doing. Then we are also trying to do better or close to what they are doing. Something like regulating the exchange activities, where we've designed our own KYC interfaces on our platform, where everybody that is buying or selling digital currency, we have to make sure you are verified. In Ghana, we verify with your ID, your voter ID, your driving license, your passport, and it's a phase. It comes in verification phases where we just trying all that we can to make sure we handle it in our own best way. And then also, aside the verifications, we check on suspicion. You know, even the business itself. How huge is the business coming? That's you are struggling with the business itself. So how can you even pay like that? But we are trying suspicions, AML. Like we just trying to regulate it in our own best way. We look at what others are doing because we want to be here for a very, very long time. So we do that. And I think currently too, we are working on our own wallet, which is going to be a decentralized wallet. We are kind of way down, and very soon you'll be able to download the eBitcoinix app on your phone, use it to send, receive, and it's not going to put anything in the pockets of the company. It is going to run on top of the Bitcoin network itself. So the fee that you are going to pay on your various transactions, like it happens on other wallets, is going directly to the miners. We are just providing solutions, and everything we are funding, we are doing everything on our own, just like we've been doing for the past 5 years. So we believe in the technology, and aside that, we are also working on what we call the coin swap, where you can convert maybe between digital tokens like Bitcoin to Ethereum, Ethereum to Bitcoin, without the need to selling it for fiat. And we are also establishing in more countries. Like right now, we are in Nigeria. We are looking forward to establishing in Kenya very soon. We are in the talks where some startups are going to buy our franchise, and they start to roll over whatever business applications that we are doing from here. They will also be doing that. And if you are watching this, regardless of where you are coming from, as long as you are a businessman and you believe in businesses that has to do with genuinity, the blockchain technology, transparency, and all that, and you want to set up a business, we can even develop all your blockchain applications for you, whether it is apps, maybe ICOs you are doing, maybe the websites you want. That's what we do. So we build solutions. And blockchain is just one out of our lots of our many services we do as a company. So we are busy designing, always we are busy developing solutions for our clients. We are doing this. So it's like we are always engaged. And even now, what we have introduced in Ghana, we call it the digital marketing solution, where we want every business to go online. Yes, and currently that is our major product we are selling. And then also about payments where people can go digital. Every payment should be digital, avoid issues where it has to do with robbery and all that. So we are just building solutions, and very soon I believe that it's also part of our roadmap. Very soon you'll be able to use the Bitcoin's platform to pay for your internet bills, your electricity bills, your water bills, like school fees and all of these things. So whether blockchain is around or not, we are here and we are in business. So, but then as long as it's here and we've seen something good in the technology and we think it has a package that is going to suit all of our country, I think we are going to do that. And it's not just here in Ghana, as well as in India as well. We are doing that in some couple of Asian countries. So with time, I think you'll be receiving lots of updates from us. And thank you so much for your time. I think we've discussed a lot. And if you would permit me, I would want to also, get to do some other.
Okay, so thank you very much for your time, and viewers, thank you also for watching. And I promise you we'll be back same time tomorrow with another discussion. it won't be with Mr. Nawaf Abdallah, but it will be with one of the greatest minds in cryptocurrency or greatest minds in the crypto world in Africa. So watch out for us tomorrow. Thank you very much for watching and have a good day, everyone. Bye-bye.
Have a great day too. Thank you so much for your time. Enjoy your day.